Wow. Okay. I think we broke the server. Yeah. Glad to be back. So sorry about that. Don't know what that was. However, right back into it. I was telling you about the particulars of our Blackheart organization stage manager. Zach Nagy from lives in Nashville now. Also is Joan Jett's guitar tech, brilliant guitar tech. He's worked with a number of people. Glad to have him out with us. Drum tech, Donnie Reyes from Austin also is our keyboard tech. Takes care of Michael McDermott's drums. When Michael walks in for sound check, he walks right into the stage, puts his earphones on. His drums are perfect every day. That's the job of the drum tech. Keyboard tech sets it all up. We have a great front of house engineer that's been with Joan since the beginning of time. His name is Billy Crater. He lives in Florida. He's been with Joan probably about 35 years now. Great monitor engineer, David Garwood from Florida. We have our lighting designer is Annie DiBiase. We'll get to her later. She's also a production assistant, and she also does all of our backstage ticketing, things like that. We have a merch guy, and we have 2 bus drivers. We travel with 2 buses. One of the buses has a trailer, and we're a total of 15 people. That is our operation. When we're in a touring capacity and we're doing bus tours, we travel with 15 people. When we're not on the bus and we're doing one-off dates, we're doing fly dates and things like that, we obviously drop the bus drivers and the merch guy, and Andy does merch. Sets it up, counts it in and out, and works with our Blackheart Records office, which I also love those people in there, and they are an integral part of our team, Blackheart Records. So this is in a nutshell, this is what we do. This is our operation. But when you get into touring positions, touring positions on an overall scale, I want to talk about the outside. We're about to, as soon as the world turns back around, do a big stadium tour. Huge, 60,000 people. Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett, and the Blackhearts. The variety of positions available for students who wish to get into this field is just truly enormous. You want to be on the road, you want to be in a touring capacity. I want to run through some things, and I'll run it real quick because I want to make some time for some questions there at the end as well. Touring positions, you just look at sound companies alone. Sound companies have a full arrangement of people. They have front of house engineers, they have lead engineers, they have second engineers, third engineers that take care and set up the whole front of house monitor. When you go to shows, and all of you have been, and you see the conglomeration of how massive this front of house sound is, because that's what it takes. On doing a big show like the stadium tour, oh my God, the amount of consoles and the cable and it runs, takes people. People do this. That's what makes it happen. Monitors, monitor console, monitor engineers, first engineers, second engineers, oftentimes third engineers. Systems engineers, that their whole job is just taking care of and monitoring the system in troubleshooting in the event that it goes wrong, doing preventive maintenance from day to day as equipment takes a beating on these trucks running in and out and jumping up and down. You have systems techs that do nothing but deal with speakers. You talk about a company like Clare Brothers, that especially like out on a tour like this, it's just amazing the amount of people that they will have. If you're as a student and you're particularly fond of the audio industry, seek these people out. Let them know your name soon. Be a pain. If you want to work in this business and you want to inside the door, get your foot in the door. Make the call. Be a pest. That's how you're going to succeed in this business. Also, moving from sound, we go into lighting. There are lighting designers, There are lighting directors. There are lighting system engineers. There are lighting technicians. It's amazing the amount of people that a big tour carries. I think about the greatest production value show that I've ever seen in my life, bar none, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I've seen them a ton of times, and I get to see them because Elliot Saltzman, the director of touring operations for them, is our business manager. So that's nice and easy. Plus, I stole Kevin Stoll from him, and he's Jump's new tour manager. But production value, the best lighting in the world that I've ever seen, Brian Hartley and Dan Kassar. These are geniuses on a lighting console. If you ever see their work, it's just, you sit there in awe. I sit there in awe. I've been to a million shows, but this is the top of the heap. Students, if you're interested in theater lighting, seek these people out. Seek these companies out. Get your foot in the door. Moving from lighting, we'll go to video. Video, the whole video world, often referred to as vidiots. And the reason is because there is absolutely nothing more important for the success of a show than video. Obviously, we all know that's not the music, according to video people. But anyway, love video people. They're just a different breed. You have video directors, you have cameramen, you have camera techs, you have grips. Grips in the video world basically set up, tear down, move equipment, and there is a ton of equipment in video and lots of good job opportunities in video. Seek these people out, find out where they are, get them on the phone, make that call. Video engineers that sit back and put the whole video package together. We were out over the summer with Hart this last year. Amazing video production there. Boston, the year before last, amazing video there. They employ a ton of people. If you have that talent and that skill set, and you want to be a part of that in your life, call these people. Be a pest. Let them know that you're there. Tour security in itself. Shout out to my boy Kerwin out with the Foo Fighters. Tony Fetto, Aerosmith, Road Brothers out there making a difference. Tour security is a big part of the operation. Got to keep the artists. Now more so than ever, is it more important to keep the artists secure. There's crazy people out there in the world, and the exposure level that we have. Oh, one of my biggest fears being on the road with Joan was that something was going to happen to her under my watch and that I couldn't be there to protect her. That is my job. I didn't have a security people out on the tour per se but when we do our bus tours, and we're in conjunction with other acts, we have a tremendous security team that we work with. Also, tour catering. Tour catering is a whole nother facet of job opportunity and employment. Local crews, every time you come into the FedEx Forum, the local crews, probably 60 or 80 people. Dallas, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Miami, New York, Los Angeles. It is amazing the amount of people that these local crews employ on a show-to-show basis. That's a great way to get your foot in the door. That's a great way to start. Be available. Be a runner. They need runners at every show. If you're young, you're trying to get your foot in the door and meet management, that's the way to do it. Meet production people, that's the way to do it. For all the students out there, I can only tell you this sincerely from the bottom of my heart. It's up to you. The jobs are out there. The jobs are out there for people that want them. I got 5 things that I want to share with you that I think is extremely important in reaching your goal. If you want to be a road person, you want to be a touring person in the capacity of non-state, non-musical, non-performing, but in the capacity of possibly management or the capacity of production. I got 5 things that I want to share with you that are extremely important to me. The first is be punctual. In this business, the music business is fun and laughter and gaiety And it's just amazing that we get to do what we get to do. It's still a business. If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you are late in our organization and in many organizations. I've left people at the hotel. I've had the bus leave the hotel and go to the gig. I should have maybe done it more, but I have left people at the hotel. Be on time. You want to be successful in this business, or really any business, be on time. Train yourself to be on time. As a student, you're making your classes. That's one thing. You get yelled at by the teacher. That's one thing. They're not going to kick you out of school. You show up 2 or 3 times to the bus late, you will be fired. You will be fired in this business because there's so many other people out there that are willing to come, work their tails off, and be on time every time. Every time. Be determined. When you get your foot in that door and you get the opportunity to sit your butt in that bus seat, just like I did so many years ago, be determined. There is no way I'm going to do anything to get fired from this gig. I want this gig. I want to be out here. My determination exceeds every other thing in my life. Food is not that important. My personal time is not that important. Anything in my life that has to do with me is not that important because I am determined to be out there. I am determined to do the best job I can do, and I am committed, which is the next thing. If you commit with all your heart that for your artists, that you're going to give everything that you have, every time that you open your eyes to the time you close your eyes, you will be successful. I promise you. It's all about the artist. It's not about you. I was Maynard's tour manager for 22 years. I was his valet for 24 years. He was my artist then. I was Joan's tour manager. I was Joan's valet. I was happy to do it. It was an opportunity to do it. You have to wake up every morning with that same kind of attitude. There's nothing that my artist wants that I won't do everything in my power to try to provide him or her. Commitment. Also, be truthful and be honest. That's number 4. Be truthful and honest. When you're dealing with your people, you'll always find that your sincerity and your character about who you are as a person is basically outlined in your honesty and sincerity with yourself. Be truthful and honest with people that you work with and you deal with, and your life will be better. And also, the last thing I want to tell you about this world that we live in called the music business, be kind. People remember that. But for the bigger reason, just be kind, because it's easier to be kind than be nasty. You know, if you don't have something good to say about somebody, then keep your mouth shut. Praise your people that you work with for doing a good job and for going above and beyond. Give more than you take. Approach the day with that give more than you take attitude, and you're going to be fine. I really know that. And the last thing I want to leave the students with, and we're not going away, but this is a very stringent point that I really want to make. And I found this out early in my life. Find your passion. What are you passionate about? What flips your switch? What does it for you in the best kind of way? You find your passion in life, and the money will come. You don't worry about the money. You find your passion. You exercise your ability to be passionate about what you're doing in life, and about what you want to do in life, and about what you share and give in life. You find your passion, the money will come. I promise. Do we have any questions?
We do. So Deborah Marie wants to know, and Mel, they want to know if you're hiring personal touring nursing staff.
Personal touring nursing staff coming to us directly from the heartland of Minnesota. Are we hiring nursing staff? No, but it brings up a good point. When we were out with the WHO back in 2015, they carried a nurse and they carried a masseuse that was also a nurse practitioner. And those are great things to have on the road. especially the masseuse, but also the nurse practitioner in those certain situations when you really need them. And currently, to answer the question, no, we're not hiring, but for a job opportunity, for you young students looking for a career opportunity in the touring aspect, get in, talk to management, convince them that they can't live without a nurse on the road. I love it. I support it. I wish we could hire one. What's the next question?
Okay, we have a question from Julie Hill. What was an influence or even a negative experience that you had as a college student that you learned from and it ultimately helped you succeed?
My. What an interesting question. When I was in college at UTM, which I loved, like many college students in the late 70s, early 80s, my interest was elsewhere. I was not as focused as I could have been. I did what I say was my best, but it wasn't. I had a mentor who I dearly love. Her name is Nancy Matheson. She was my advisor. She was also my percussion instructor. She was pretty much the sheriff in my life. I was supposed to be practicing one night for a recital that I had coming up on material that I played very poorly. She got wind, and I still don't know how, that I was, instead of practicing, now this was 8 o'clock at night, I was at Cadillac's pool hall shooting pool and drinking beer with my buddies from the Phi Mu Alpha house. She showed up. She walked through the door, and I thought, my life is over. My life is going to be over right now. She proceeded to tell me that she was at a point where she really didn't want to waste her time with me anymore. That she thought I was built of better stuff. But if my decisions in my life had it that I make decisions like this, she's done. I knew what that meant. I left. I walked home. On that walk home, that walk changed my life that night. I decided right then, you can either get kicked out of school, go back to Bolivar, do what? Or you can turn it around, and you can turn around right now. She was my first. I waited for her. I was there before her, which never happened the next morning. I was actually there at Fine Arts Building before she came in. I caught her coming out of her car, and I begged her, do not write me off. Please give me the opportunity. And she did. She loved me. She still loves me. I love her and everything she meant to me in my life. It's to inspire me to try to be my best and do my best. I hope that answered the question.
That's great. Okay, this question is from Karen Campbell. When you're drowning in details, do you ever miss the music? How do you feed that aspect of your soul?
That's a great question. In my life, I have been very fortunate to work primarily with two artists that I enjoy musically so very much. I mean, who can say that? I've really been blessed musically. Drowning in details. Tour managers, and every tour manager I think will agree with me. You have to have the ability to keep the plate spinning all at the same time, to juggle, keep those balls moving in the air. And it must be done in a way that doesn't make the artists or the musicians in the band anxious. They shouldn't see the details. They shouldn't hear about them. You don't talk about the problems that you're having with the hotel. You're not talking about the problems that you're having booking flights. All they need to think about is music. If you can make it to where the musicians in your operation get to think about nothing but music, that don't see all of the mishmash on the side, then you're doing your job as a manager. That's what management is, managing. So keep all this stuff away. But the question had to do with me personally. My personal satisfaction is when they start that first note of the tune at the downbeat at the top left corner of the page. And the show starts and the artist is comfortable and Joan comes out and you know her ears are right, and she looks at the crowd and she gets this whole aura about her, and she lives for the crowd. That's what I love so much about her and her band, but particularly her. And then that feeds my soul. That music and knowing everything that we did to make that particular show happen, that feeds my soul. Okay.
Okay, this question is from Sandra Hinksman. How do you fill the downtime when you're not touring?
Hey, Sandra. Well, for the last, well, with Maynard, we did like 200 shows a year, so I was out 8 and 9 months out of the year. Outside of that, I love being outdoors. I love to fish. I love to cook. I like being outside. I have a cabin at the Tennessee River that I love spending time with. I love being out on the water and spending a lot of that time with family and friends. I do, before we take another question, I've got a couple of sections I want to get through real quick. We lost some time here, and I've got a couple of things I really want to hit. One thing that is very important to me, and I think is very important, is the opportunities for women in the touring operation these days. And I've seen it progress because I've been out for so long. But when I first come on the road, and I think a lot of people will attest, it's a boys' club out there. Now, I'm very fond of our opposite gender. I've got 3 sisters that I love dearly and a mother, and have always been. But also, too, I felt like for so many years that women in our industry didn't get a fair shake. One thing that I want to reference to that I encourage all, especially the students, you need to watch this documentary. It's called Bad Rep. It's produced by and directed by Carrie Ann Brinkman, president of Blackheart Records, along with Joan and Kenny Laguna. And it really outlines and dictates Joan's rise from a club date guitar player with her band called the Runaways, and the problems that they had through the 70s as an all-girl band in an all-boy world, and the fact that the determination and perseverance of Joan Jett to play guitar in a man's world as it was at the time, she paved the way. She not only paved the way for herself, but for so many of the female artists that come behind her. Go see Bad Reputation. Get it on Netflix. But it really outlines, and I'm so proud to have been a part of watching this documentary come together that expands the period of Joan's life. And one thing I love so much about Joan Jett is she is old school. From the very first week that I was with the band, I recognized her commitment and dedication to the most important thing in her life, which is the show. On day of show, nothing precedes her schedule, her timelines. She's always on time, she's always punctual, and nothing supersedes the importance of her daily activity to perform a good show. She is from that school. The show comes first. The people that I perform from, whether it's 250 in a private party or even less, to 100,000 at Wembley Stadium in England, which we did with Green Day back in whenever that was. She plays the same show for the small crowds that she does for the big crowd, and she commits to every tune. She commits to the show, and I love that about her. The gig comes first. Women in production, I want to I really want to hit this because I think it's important that you women, you got to know that there are opportunities for you out there. I know because I've got to work with them. On the Boston tour, we had a monitor engineer, Nikki Berna, fantastic monitor engineer. She was so great that at the end of the tour, on our one-off dates, we pulled her with us. We hired her from the sound company, also with their blessing. We didn't poach their people. which is bad manners, but I would have done it anyway. But she was great. Nikki Berna, Mary Jo Spillane, one of the great production managers out there. Has been with Shinedown for so many years. Mary Jo Spillane lives in New York, toured all around the world with a huge production called Shinedown. One of my favorites, Tracy Wiedemann. She worked with Tim Rosser, probably the greatest production manager out there. Last year's Production Manager of the Year award winner, I must say, and I love Tim Rosser. Love to you, brother. Tracy Wiedemann was our production coordinator for the tour, the Styx tour. It was Tesla, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, and Styx, and Tim Rosner was the production manager. Tracy Wiedemann, production coordinator for all three camps. She was so great that after the tour, ended up hiring her to go out and do these one-offs with us. Tremendously organized individual, works well with people, makes things happen. Marnie McClyman, tour manager. Reba McEntire, Terry Clark, Brooks and Dunn, one of the forces in the industry, tour manager, an amazing individual. Gabby Schiff does lighting for Heart. Have you ever seen Heart show? You've seen the lighting? That's Gabby Schiff. She's amazing. She is. And one story I want to share real quickly. Annie DiBiase, our lighting director, walked out of 5 Points College in Long Island to the Blackheart Records office and pretty much begged for a job. I want to do it. I want to work in this business. I want to be in this industry. I'll do anything. So they hired her as an intern. Worked as an intern, was directly communicating with us on the road, wanted to be on the road, begged to be on the road. And I think when it comes right down to it, she aggravated them so much in management and in the office that they allowed her to come out and do a tour with us. We needed a production assistant. I didn't have Kevin Stoll for one. I didn't have a production coordinator. It was myself. We had a skeleton 4-man crew. I've been needing a production assistant. We just finished the movie. We were doing a lot busier. Things that were coming down the pipe fast and furious. We got her out there. She came out as a production assistant. She immediately started taking over backstage duties. She moved from there into taking over the merchandising, overseeing that, working the merchandising. But her degree is in theatrical stage and lighting. She had a plan all along. And she was out there every show talking to these lighting guys, getting the inside scoop from these lighting guys, seeing the show, hearing the show every night. Kenny Laguna finally, I think, out of frustration to get her off his back, let her run the show. She's our lighting director now. She has been. And if we go out for the stadium tour, she'll be doing the stadium. Because, A, she made the call, she made the walk, she walked into that office, she persevered and made it hers. She got her foot in the door. That's all she needed. She's a little Staten Island guinea that is stubborn as can be, and that's what it takes in this business. If you want to get in and you want to make it in this business, you got to kind of have that kind of perseverance and subtlety about you that her end goal was really to be Joan's lighting director all along. But along the way, she's encompassed all these kids. There's so many amazing women out touring these days. It's no longer a boys club. It's no longer a men's world out there. If you have the perseverance to get in there, get your foot in the door, do your best every waking moment of your day to commit to your artist and do the best that you can. You can work in this business. Anybody can work in this business, male or female. How about a question?
Okay, we have a question from PK McAllister. He'll be a future lighting producer himself or director.
Yeah.
What
PK.
makes the lighting of a show truly extraordinary?
Say that again.
What makes the lighting of a show truly extraordinary?
Extraordinary. Well, it's simple. When you go to a live show, you're dealing with two aspects. Visual, you have the visual concept of the show, but more importantly, musically, the oral concept. You're hearing the music How does the lighting enhance the music? What's the most important thing about going to see a show? It is the music in a nutshell. There's nothing more important than the musical presentation and the quality of the music. Secondary, how does the lighting enhance the show? Pull up some YouTube videos of our band, of course, but you want to see lighting at its finest. Pull up some video of Trans-Siberian Orchestra. That's the finest lighting in the world. It's the most intense production, lighting, laser. It's the most intense production capacity show in the world. You want to see how lighting enhances music? Do that. That's great. Anything else?
You want another question, or are you ready?
Question.
Okay. Is it possible to maintain a normal domestic life when you're always working on the road? Do you think people usually have to choose between families, homes, pets, etc., if they're interested in this field? This is from Lizzie Emmons.
Hi, Lizzie Emmons. Thank you for asking that question. There's a decision that's made. Obviously, like I talked about earlier, there are sacrifices to be made if you choose this line of work. I will always have my family. I will always have my home. I could not have a pet when I was on the road, as I didn't have a wife or anybody to take care of my pet. So there are sacrifices to be made. It depends on what you want to do in life, though. I chose this life. I have no regrets. If I died tomorrow, this world don't owe me anything. I've had the most amazing career, and I live with the decisions I've made. I have a family that I love dearly and love me, and outside of that, I wouldn't change a thing. If you're getting into this business, know the dynamics of travel. Realize the dynamics. If it's something that you want to do for a while and maybe you don't want to do for the rest of your life, then come to terms with that in the beginning. But it is truly an amazing lifestyle. It's been an amazing career. I've had the good fortune that my personal habits never conflicted with my job, even through the 80s and 90s, which was kind of a wild time to be on the road. We had fun, but I was able to avoid some of the trappings of being on the road. And that's one thing I caution all students about is take care of your personal habits and maintain. Also, before I take one more question, I really got to get in because we're going to wrap this up soon. And you let me know when we need to wrap up. It's basically any time now. Okay, but I'm taking my time that I missed from being down. Mentors in my life along the way have been so important, and I just want to kind of give a brief description of why and how these people are so important. In the course of your life, you will find mentors, or mentors will find you. And the very best thing you can do as a student coming into the workplace is soak up the information and everything that a recognized mentor gives you. Nancy Matheson was a mentor to me. She basically turned my life around when I was a bumbling idiot at UT Martin, and really kind of spanked me one night and said, here, the choice is yours, pal. You can walk down this road or you can walk down this road. I will forever be grateful for her for helping me find a road that has taken me into the career path that I've enjoyed so much for all these years. Stan Mark, Maynard Ferguson's lead trumpet player, mentored me and opened the door to the world that took me to 38 countries around the world and opened the door to the life that I have loved and enjoyed for all these years. Love you, Stanley. You have no idea what you have meant to me and to my life and opening that door. And for these students out there, find your Stan Mark. Find your Stan Mark and make that call. There are people out there that are willing and want to help you. If you are dedicated to the cause and you are true to yourself, that you want to be out on the road and you want to tour and you want to do the best job you can do, find your Stan Mark. I found mine. It was great. He opened the door to the world for me. Maynard Ferguson, another mentor, took me as a young kid, allowed me my feet of clay. I was 24 years old as his tour manager. I didn't know what I was doing. He knew what his tour manager should be. He taught me how to be his tour manager. I wanted nothing more than to be the best tour manager that he could have. That was my purpose in life, is just being the best that I could be for him and for his organization. We did 200 shows a year. We was out 9 months out of the year. It was amazing the amount of travel that we did. It was hard. It was difficult, but it was fun. And he was a mentor. Production wise, I must say that the one person that I found late in life, but in my opinion, is the greatest production mind on the planet, and he is the director of operations for Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I have mentioned him several times. His name is Elliot Saltzman, and I think that there's nobody better in this business that does what he does in operations and production than him. And I used this analogy once, that there were a lot of great piano players in Vienna, but there was only one Mozart. And in my world, in the production world that I live in my opinion, Elliot Saltzman is the Mozart in the production community. Kenny Laguna is Joan's manager, has been with her. And if you watch the documentary, you'll see what an impact and a profound impact that he has had on Joan's career and her life, but also in my life. If I was in a crunch, there is no person I would go to or feel more confident going to or feel that could solve a problem in my life than Kenny Laguna. He is a brilliant individual. He is a brilliant mind. He sees everything that goes on in his operation. I only wish that I would have had him 24 years ago in Maynard's camp. But he means the world to me and has been a mentor more to me than he will ever know through the last 12 years that I've had with Joan. And also an interesting fact about Kenny Laguna, he's one of those rare birds. Not only is he management, he's a musician. He's Joan's piano player, co-writer on lots of different things, produced everything that she's done since the Runaways. And dig this, before he joined Joan, he had 50 tunes in the top 40 in the top 40 Billboard charts. Look it up. It's a known fact. There's Tommy James and the Shondells, Jay and the Americans. I mean, he played or sang on 50 tunes in the top 40. It's amazing. 50 tunes. Anyway, amazing mentor. And my last one, Joan Jett. I have had the opportunity to work with this person for 12 years and still working with her. I think she's one of the most amazing people on the planet. I've never seen anyone, including my former life, that approached her job in life with more sincerity. And I love you. I love Joan. I love you. And I just think that the impact that she has had on my life as I reach, like the bottom of the 8th inning in my career has been just amazing. And I'm thankful every day to get the opportunity, or had the opportunity to still work with her and travel the world with her. And we have had some fun around the world. And I love you, Joan. And I thank everybody for joining me for this evening. And for the students out there, just keep your eyes forward, keep your chin up. And when you do good, don't wear your arm out, patting yourself on the back. And when you fall on your face and you experience your feet of clay, don't wear your foot out kicking your butt. Just keep on going, hang in there, give it your best every day. And don't worry about the lane that you end up in. The lane will choose you. Just give it your heart and your soul. Try to go out there and make a difference. If you want to be a touring individual, get in the race, get in there and mix it up. When you have the opportunity to find your San Martin, to make that call, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, because it could open the door to the rest of your career and to your life. And hopefully you'll have as much fun as I did. I have one thing I need to read. Is there any questions, anything I need to do? That's it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, tune in weeknights, Monday through Thursday. 8 p.m. Central Time to watch Keeping the Beat live. Remember to tell your friends about the program. I want a special shout out to Dr. Julie Hill, who I love so much. She's so special in my life. To Alexis, who also worked with us from Tennessee Music Educators Association. These are brilliant people, and bringing this to you. Necessity is the mother of invention, and that's how this came about. And hopefully when the world returns to somewhat of a normal stage, this will continue, because I think this is a great opportunity for industry people to share and to try to motivate students coming out that there is a future out there. There's a bright future, and give it your best, and God bless you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Love you. Good night.